Welcome to a political talk show here on WRMN 1410 AM, downtown Elgin, Studio 14. Oh, this is David Tees filling in for Dennis Sonar Green for Candidate Tuesdays here on WRMN Radio. And we're going to be talking to another candidate today who's in the studio, but we want to get some things taken care of out of here first. WRMN Radio, we are a bipartisan radio station. We don't pick sides. We are here to interview both sides of everybody and, get your message out there so it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to be interviewed, feel free to email me I'm going to give it to you right here with my email address, all lowercase, it's TEASO6519 at AOL.com. Once again, that is TEASO6519 at AOL.com. That's TEASO6519 at AOL.com. Sorry about that. Today's weather, right now for a low tonight, will be 25 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy and breezy, and a snow shower late. They're saying like a dusting, maybe possibly an inch. So be careful in your morning drive. Commute might be a little bit slippery, but what's the weekend? We're going to get very, 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 very cold, especially for the Bears game. I think by the time that starts, it might be 10 degrees. And LA is not used to that cold weather. And since we are the home of the Chicago Bears here on WRMN 1410 AM, you can listen to the game on Sunday at 5:30. So stay tuned for that. It's another day. Before we get started with our candidate here, exciting one, you feel free, if you guys want to call in and ask him any questions, we are going to take phone calls after 7:30. So after the 7:30 break, you can call at 847-931-1410, or you can text us on the text line at 505-926-1410, or you can go to WRMN 1410/.com and turn around and, go on our chat line on YouTube, and that's on YouTube there too, that chat I just gave you. You can go on YouTube and then turn around and make a comment, ask them a question. So before here, let's get this started right now. Let's get this ball rolling. And I'm going to switch things over to you. Do you see you on the camera now? Yes, well, welcome to WRMN 1410 AM here today. We have Herb Haben here in the studios. He is running for 8th Congressional District. That's a Congress spot there here in the Fox Valley area. And actually, his district, if you want to look this up, to give you a little update what the 8th Congressional District of Illinois is. In 2011 was redistricting. The Congressional District covers parts of Cook County, DuPage County, Kane County. As the 2011 redistricting, which followed the 2010 United States Census, all parts of Addison, Arlington Heights, Barrington Hills, Bloomingdale, Carroll Stream, Carpentersville, East Dundee, Elgin, Elk Grove Village, Glendale Heights, Hanover Park, Hoffman Estates, Lombard, Palatine, Rolling Meadows, Roselle, Schaumburg, South Elgin, Streamwood, Villa Park, and Wooddale. So that's a lot of area. Cook County is there's a lot of counties. He's got a lot of ground to cover. So without being said, Herb, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody here in the studios?
Yes, I would. My name is Herb Haben. I'm running for Congress in your 8th District. I'm a retired Chicago police officer of 30 years. I have a family, 2 sons and my wife, and 4 grandchildren. And what I'm running for is I want to protect the children. That's my main goal here. Without protecting our children, we're going to lose everything. And the people in Congress now are not working to help our children. They're hurting our children. So I need to get there for the children. Yeah, that's my main goal. My other goals is I'm going to support police, because without police, that's your last line of defense. And if you don't have the police, it's going to be nothing but chaos. Our military, we need those guys. And those guys are our other first line of defense. What they're doing around the world right now is keeping us safe. They're helping us. They're keeping our children safe. so we need them. Another big thing I'm for is we've thrown God out of the country. We've thrown him under the bus, and you can't have a country. You can't have a life without God. God is he is everything. So we need to bring God back into the country and put him back in public life also.
Now, it says here a little bit, and I've heard you speak at other places too, and all that stuff. It says you are a retired police officer. What municipality did you serve at for how many years?
I worked in Chicago. I started my career out in the 5th District, which was Pullman area. And then for the next 16 years approximately, I was in Inglewood. And then after Inglewood, I did some details, terrorist details and stuff like that. And then I ended my career in the 22nd District, which was Morgan Park.
And how high did you rank in the police?
I was just a police officer.
Just a police officer?
Yes, sir.
There you go. And I'm sure you saw some crazy stuff throughout your years. We won't go down that road today because you're here running for 8th Congressional District seat. Now, this seat is filled by Raja, and he is actually going to be trying a shot at the Senate. So, which opens the door for people on both sides to take a shot at this seat. I know there are a total of 4 Republicans running for this. I could be wrong. There might be one more. So you got your work cut out for you. This area covers 291 and a half miles. Distribution 100% urban, 0% rural. So there's a lot of people in this area. Population 752,000 or 52,500 people with a median income of $96,000. And today's economy, that doesn't help you because of high taxes and everything else. And, as we go on with this show and we talk, one of the things is we're going to be touching about, because you're going to go to Washington if you win. And there's a couple of questions I have for you with that one, and they're not hard ones. But when you go to Washington, you'll be representing everybody in America, and you'll also be representing everybody here in the state of Illinois and your hometown area here. So that's an interesting thing. One of the things we'll start out with here, if you get elected, and I ask a lot of candidates this, if you get elected and you go to Washington, you got to be on a committee,
Right.
There's got to be a committee. So what would be, you think, a great committee? And if you're familiar with all of them, because I'm really not, okay? I do know there's other different types, but to be on a committee, what would be the committee you would like to be on?
I'd like to be on the safety committee with the safety committee with the police and so forth to make sure that our citizens are safe in our cities, our states, so we can be free to walk around and not be scared like people are today.
Mm-hmm. And crime, I'm going to be honest with you, crime has, since 2024, after the presidential election, crime has started to drop, especially like here in Elgin. We have a great police chief, Chief Lowry, does an amazing job. She has leadership, and her officers follow her. She's an amazing. Shootings before 2024, we broke the record last year in Elgin for the most shots fired, and this year we're way, way down. This police department goes out and works hard. They get their suspects, and then they have their due process of going to court and have your day in court to see what happens. But that being said, you being a law enforcement officer should actually like that. And feeling safe in your neighborhoods and your streets throughout America and in your hometown is very important to a lot of voters out there. One of the many topics that they talk about is one of the things that they would like to feel safe. And this year, I felt pretty good here in Elgin. This is where I was born and raised. Bigger cities have bigger problems, okay? So that being said, with that whole entire thing there, let's move on to another thing that a lot of people are very, very concerned about in America, the economy. Now, there's a lot of things you got to vote on, like, like they did today, and the Supreme Court has to make their decision on some hearings they heard today. So that being said, I mean, what would be, great ideas that you could present to the voters as to how you're going to represent us here about taxes, not only in the United States and the economy and in Illinois?
Well, one thing we could do to reduce taxes is, first of all, we have to stop funding programs that don't work. And all our tax monies goes to these programs that don't work. We have to stop funding all these illegal aliens that come into the country. They're spending billions and billions of dollars on this stuff, and it's hurting the people there. And it's your hard work and your tax money that is going to the stuff, and you're receiving nothing for it. So, and we also have to reduce the size of government. Government is way too big. It has to be reduced by a great amount. We are just spending money for stuff that we do not have to spend money for. And that will, in that race, we can reduce taxes because we're not spending money like drunken sailors.
Yeah, it is a lot. Is your opinion and my opinion and what America sees watching everything unfolded? Minnesota, Doge, a lot of government waste going on. Now, one of the things about the illegals that came across this country, me, myself, personally, as a voter and as a citizen here, we are a nation of immigrants. It's always been like that forever. And, we got a lot of criminals, a lot of bad hombres here in this country. And is your opinion is to get rid of the bad hombres and try to keep some of these good people that are trying to make a better life in here, but get them to do it legally and to follow the system as to, I mean, there's been some talk, and cans kicked around there about you can get your citizenship in 3 years if you pay your taxes, get a job, don't commit crimes, and stuff like that. And in 3 years, you can apply for your citizenship. Because I do know some people from other countries that are here on visas for 19 years and trying to get their citizenship. And they're good families. They work hard. Their kids are in college, So not everybody is bad. But when you talked about the illegal immigration right there, I mean, would there be any proposals you would like to bring up to Congress? And, hey, is there another direction we could go to? Because it's going to be hard to get everybody out of here.
Right.
But we also do need some of these workers, and they're good workers, they're hard workers, and their families want to have a better life and a better education. And that's why these people came from back in the 20s after the wars to come to America, to build our skyscrapers, the Irish, the French, everybody came here and we got skyscrapers built. Our country wouldn't be where we're at if, a lot of immigrants came together and worked hard at building this America. And then they worked. They participated. They voted. So, So, I mean, any other ideas that you would have to help these people out? Because, like I said, they're all not bad people. It's just the bad hombres, the criminals that's what's going on now, which people don't understand,
Right. Well, that's. I mean, I didn't specify that, but yes, I'm talking about the bad guys, the criminals, the ones that are coming here to hurt our people, to destroy our country. Those are the people I'm talking about. We need reform, immigration reform, and there's some ways we can do that is by making the system a little bit easier to get to once you get here or once you're here. Okay, we're not going to find 20 million people.
No.
Or whatever it was.
Right, no.
So that's not going to happen. But let's make it easier for those people to become citizens in the United States. Mm-hmm. But they have to follow the rules.
Right.
They have to get a job. They have to let us know where they're at. They can't start doing crimes. And as long as they come here for the purpose of making a better life and our country a better country, then you're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. You have obviously grandkids. We talked about earlier. I think you said about it here on the air. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing some things here. And that's the main thing about when you were talking about safety, and to touch on something else, with our, what's the age range of your grandchildren, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we'll include, and if we include this March, it'll be 3, 3, 5,
Yeah.
7, and one will be 9 in September. So
Okay, so they're not towards the teenage year where you got to hear like my 13-year-old 6, 7, stuff like that. The new language that they have. But one of the fears I'm sure you have in the back of your mind, and your wife, your lovely wife, is here today. What's your wife's name?
Joyce.
Joyce. Hey, welcome here. She's sitting off to the side, smiling over there, enjoying all this. One of the things is like I worry about my kids. I got a 21-year-old boy, and I got a 13-year-old boy, and I have two daughters that they're 36 and 37, but they're doing good, But like they talked about today, affordable housing. I mean, these kids can't get a house. They can't. I mean, with the way things are going for them, it's like they say the chances of them getting a house might be 10 years from now. And when you're getting out of college or high school, or you work a trade job and all that stuff, you can't afford the houses and afford it. Is there any plans you have in the future about working with people on both sides of the aisle, which is a question we'll get into in a little bit, of trying to bring affordable housing that actually these younger people can look forward to getting in the future?
Well, I think Donald Trump had brought it up, and he said that he wants to stop these, if you will, these Wall Street people from buying all these houses and then keeping them and not letting let them be put back on the market, okay, or out there to be sold. And that's what's keeping the prices high. And then you got the interest rates, but that's basically the Federal Reserve that does the interest rates, which they could lower those interest rates.
You're right.
Okay. But by keeping these houses, if you will, if they're saying there's not enough houses on the market, then you're going to have high prices.
Right.
So more houses have to hit the market to lower prices.
Mm-hmm.
And until that happens, it's not, they were talking about giving $200 billion to mortgage-backed securities. Well, the first part is right, where we can get these people to put these houses back on the market. There'll be more houses and prices will lower. But with mortgage-backed securities, that's just going to do the opposite, because they're going to fund those, and those houses are going to stay up in price.
Right.
They're not going to come down.
Mm-mm.
So you can't do that and the other one. So the first one is good. The second one won't work.
Yep.
And so that's one way. We can have them build more houses, and that can reduce the price of housing. But you'll have to get builders to.
That's going to be, I think, for Congress and Senate to really have to look at how you're going to do that, because, I mean, they're buying up all these houses. Like you said, they're not releasing them, and rent is astronomical. I mean, it is like way up there just to rent, even apartments nowadays. And with single-family homes, I mean, some of these $2,500 a month, for a two-bedroom house, $3,000, for a four-bedroom house.
Right.
I mean, and what you pay in taxes and how much you get paid on your job. That's why we're all struggling right now. I mean, everybody's struggling because everything is too high. Food prices, they were talking about that. We got to get those down, and that's not really like a lot of things you can do, but there is some little we could do. But hopefully, like you said, bring the interest rates down a little bit more. I mean, I'm noticing a lot of people driving around in new cars, so the auto industry is kind of like doing good. So I'm seeing a lot more new cars driving around out there.
Right.
I notice things when I'm out there, and then we'll probably touch about this in the second half an hour, which is a problem that is concerning me a little bit in America, is I don't see, and your wife may ever see this, if not, I know she's going to be looking around when she goes shopping, because she does the shopping, right?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, yeah, you don't go to the grocery store. You're too busy. You got to go out there and campaign. But that being said, I don't see a lot of pregnant women out there. I mean, I'm noticing, I used to see like 2 years ago, yeah, there are a lot of pregnant women, but it seems like with today's new age, women and men ain't getting married, and they're not having kids because they can't afford a house and a kid. Trust me, I know that. I know that, and you knew that when you were growing with your kids growing up there and being a dad, and before you had grandkids, you had to support them and clothe them and feed them and put them in college.
Yes.
Which isn't cheap. So it's really tough being a parent. Trust me.
Right. Well, a lot of these kids, too, they have all these college loans. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, if you borrow money, you should pay it back.
Yeah.
That's just the rule. But I've talked to a couple of the younger children, college kids that are out, and I've asked them, I says, I know you're paying your loans off and that, and I says, what would it be like if I could say, some of them are paying 4%, 5%, 6%, 7% interest. And I said, well, how about if we drop your interest rate to 1%?
Good answer. I like that answer. This guy's thinking.
And that other 6%, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't know how much your loans are. They could be 100,000. They could be, but the other 5 or 6%, that is your savings towards whatever.
Right.
If you want to start buying a house, but that maybe it's not enough to just walk in. But it's going to be a lot cheaper for you to be able to pay that loan off, or that college loan off. Mm-hmm. And that's one way I would like to get in there and say, hey, let's not take these kids for everything.
Right.
The banks make enough money.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And they don't need to put the burden on these kids that are going to school and just trying to make a better life for themselves also.
Right. I like that idea. That is actually a two-way street to helping them get an education, lower interest rates on their college loans, which the banks would get their money back. College is expensive. I mean, it's
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Thank God my kids ain't smart. I'm sorry I had to say that. Not against my kids, but, they're like me, blue-collar worker, like you are, even though you are a police officer. That's a blue-collar job because you're working with your hands, you're working with your feet. I'm a plumber, so I'm a blue-collar worker, and tradesmen make good money, which is another thing. We need more tradesmen out there. Really quickly, before we're going to go to commercial break, and I'm going to make an announcement here. I know we've talked about this. It's coming back here. GEAR, Greater Elgin Area Republican Meet and Greets, a function Donald Puckett puts on. It's actually going to be this Saturday at Patriot Bar in South Elgin, and the time that's going to start there is at 6 p.m., so come on down. No charge come in here. And we're not all about just our party or whatever. This is a chance for everybody to come in, sit down, talk politics. Most of the time people start talking about their dogs, sharing pictures of all that stuff. This is just to sit back, talk sports, talk politics, talk dogs, talk kids driving you nuts. So once again, GEAR will be this Saturday at Patriots in South Elgin, McLean Boulevard, and Spring Street in South Elgin. So come on down. Well, this is WRMN 1410 AM, a political talk show. I am David Tees, joined in here with Herb Haben, and we're going to get to Herb in a little while. We'll open up the phone lines if you have any questions for him. So we'll be back after this commercial break. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to WRMN 1410 AM, a political talk show here in Studio 14, downtown Elgin. I am David Tees, filling in for Dennis O'Neill Green for Candidate Tuesday, where we interview candidates, both sides of the party. Feel free, if you want to be interviewed for your candidacy, to email me, all lowercase names, T as in Tom, E as in Edwards, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, O as in Ostrich, 6519 at AOL.com. That's Tizo6519 at AOL.com. We're going to open up the phone lines here, so we're going to have them. You want to call in 847-931-1410, or you can text us at 505-926-1410, or just go to YouTube and hit WRMN 1410 live stream, and you can get us that way too. You can do it on your smart devices, your TV, and all that. So let's bring back running for 8th Congressional District here, Mr. Herb Haben. So we got him back onto there. And welcome back, Herb. You have a little commercial break here, and I think you're enjoying yourself here in the studios today because this is your first interview.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, let me get your microphone on there so it'll act like my first interview, too, if I don't do your microphone.
Yeah.
I know. You get some hiccups here. Once again, he's running for 8th Congressional District here, which covers Cook County, DuPage County, and Kane County. I won't get into all of the cities because there are too many to say. We have some comments on our YouTube page. Would you like to read them out there?
Yeah, there's one that says, Congress, how are you? Wait a minute. Nothing gets done in Congress. How are you as one person going to move to the mountains? I have to agree with you on that first part. Yes, nothing is getting done in Congress. All they do is fight back and forth, play little games. They're not getting anything done. You're 100% correct. They're blaming this person for that, and this person for that. And yeah, there's basically, if I had the power, everybody would be taken out of office and we'd start with a clean slate.
Yeah, I've said this many times on different shows. I always think that Washington is theatrical. I mean, when we get a different president, if it's a Republican or a Democratic president, if you got a House that's controlled by one party, and you got a party president, and then next thing you know, they're all on this side, and then halfway through, there's a switch all of a sudden, then it flips back the other way. And this goes on every year. And if we don't see this going on every year, Herb, I mean, then what they argue about one year, they're fighting they're trying to save it the next year. It's like flip-flopping all over the place. It's like a new Disney on Ice with just a different theme. And that's it. I see this. I mean, I hope everybody else sees it. Do you see it?
Yeah, that's all they do is blame each other for, and it's, oh, well, you did this and you did it. Instead of doing that, let's fix it.
Yeah. And,
quit playing games, quit being children. Our children in kindergarten are smarter than some of these people.
Yeah. And what bothers me the most is like we just talked about at the beginning of the show here is that, hey, you guys want to, we'll talk about your website here in a second, but if you guys want to look up your candidates that are running or incumbents that are going to try to save their seats, I mean, sometimes you got to put a new person into there, a fresh face, a fresh voice. I mean, I heard Nancy Pelosi's going to be retiring. We got some people that have been in there for 10, 20, 30 years who are giving us the same results for that amount of time. And like a person like you, Herb, you're a blue-collar worker, like I said, police officer. Work with your hands. You work with your feet. You chase bad guys. You catch them. And I just put pipes together and make things go where they're supposed to, which we won't talk about that. But that is maybe something that we need because we need people that are in touch with what we've gone through, raising a family, having kids, paying a mortgage, feeding, clothing, like we said, compared to some of these career politicians that have been in there 10, 20, 30 years who are out of touch with the American people and the American voters. And having a fresh face like you coming into there, I think you're going to ruffle some feathers, aren't you?
Well, yes, that's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
My plan is not to make it a career.
Right.
Like when these people go there, they want to make it a career. No. It's not a job. When it was first started 250 years ago, was people would be elected, and then they had their meetings,
mm-hmm.
and then they went back to work.
Yep.
Now they made it a career, and I mean, it was never supposed to be that.
Right. And are you in favor for term limits?
Now that's it.
Now, if you're not, you're going to be there for 30 years, Herb.
No. And here's my thing to that. We have term limits. And it's every 2, 4, and 6 years.
Yeah.
Leave it up to the people.
Right.
Okay. If you decide we're going to have term limits, okay, and you get a guy they're going to vote the same guy in 3 years or 5 years. We don't even know how long that would be. So you're going to vote the same guy in. Now, his last term comes up, and he knows he can't run again.
Right.
So now he's going to just really hurt you.
Yeah, but like president has term limits. They can only run for 2 terms.
Correct.
And Congress could just like Pelosi, just keep going and going and going and going. And Dick Durbin is retiring. I mean, yeah. Right. I mean, yeah. How long do you got to do that for? How old do you got to be to sit there? I would think, to be personal with you, I think personally 3 terms for both the House and the Senate, and then we give it to some other fresh face that but you still have your elections to see if you win, okay?
Right.
But and the only way you can actually do that, you don't let Congress or the Senate vote for term limits. You actually let the American people do it on a referendum. That's the only way it's going to get changed.
Right. And that would be the way you'd have to do it. Mm-hmm. But my point, too, is still, now you get a guy that's in there and he's making this country go greatly forward. And he's doing great. We don't ever want to see him leave,
Right.
And now he's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now who do you get? You know? So basically, let's leave it up to the people. That's when they put these in 250 years ago or approximately. Mm-hmm. That's why they did that. Let the people make a choice. I want you for 2 years. No, I don't want you again. Let the people. And, I look at it like a baseball team, You got a shortstop that can't catch, can't throw, can't hit. Do you keep him?
No.
Do you trade him?
For you, what he wants him?
Maybe. Or do you just say, you're not going to make it?
Yeah.
All right. That's how the people should be. No, you're not going to be here again. Vote them out. My fear, too, is if you get to that far and they do have a convention of states or whatever they're trying to, how they're doing it. My fear is if you open our Constitution today in this environment and the people that are in charge now, my fear would be, what will we be reading when it's all said and done? They may give you, because you got 2 sides here.
Right.
They may give you your term limits and your balanced budget, but what do they want? Your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, your Fourth Amendment? Where does it end?
Right.
My fear would be, if we ever open a Constitution to do this, this is not the time.
No.
This is definitely not the environment.
Exactly.
You want to open it up.
So when you're out there, and I know you've been out to places, meet and greets, gone to townships and other places, and first time on the radio here, have you ever heard anybody ask or say to you, it's like, you have no government experience, you've never done this before, and we'll get to why I should vote for you, but the main thing is like, we got to look at all. I have a lot of people that say that about other politicians, first time running. Well, this is where you got to make your step, okay? And there are people that have never been in Congress or Senate in their entire life. Maybe ran for a county board spot, or they want to move up, and it's a different breed. It's a different world. But look at the AOC, the truck driver from New Jersey. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts. You got to have $1 million to become a congressman or a governor or something like that. When a truck driver wins it with $1,600 in his war chest. It was working hard and getting his message out to there.
Right.
And have you ever had anybody actually say, have you ever heard that this guy doesn't have a chance? And how would you respond to that?
Well, I've had that said to me, and I responded to them and says, "Well, you never were a police officer in Chicago." And let me tell you, there's a lot of political stuff in Chicago that you see as bad. Mm-hmm. So that's what helped me get to where I'm going. Okay. So, yes, it's a tough run, but I'm going to be out there for the people. Mm-hmm. Fight for the people. Because I work for you, you don't work for me, and I want to make this country one better country, and that's why I'm running.
Yeah. And you got a primary coming on up here. You also have a website. You want to tell people a little bit about your website? So that way, and then we'll bring it up at the end of the show before you go here. So we'll just get a little refresher.
Bear with me on this one. The website, we had one going, and for some reason it fell apart. We don't know why. So the new website is going to be electherb.com.
Simple.
You know, it's very simple, and I'll have stuff on there that you want to read about me, know more stuff. And then we're going to put a bunch of things we're working on in there, like, you know, property taxes and so forth. We're trying to get that out there to educate people of what's going on and what they can do to help themselves. Besides, you know, the politicians doing it for you.
So if you guys, anybody listening out there, and you know, I know a lot of people are going to go back and watch this on YouTube and know more about this man here running for 8th Congressional District here. Electherb.com. Pretty simple. I mean, you know, you can't make it more simple than that. I'm like, geez, oh, you got to do all this stuff, Doc, you know. But I like that. That's very simple. How do you like things going on around the world right now? Because, you know, when you get into Congress, you're going to have to be, you know, making some pretty heavy decisions, you know, like with Iran and all of that stuff. I mean, bringing up Iran there, I know they're talking about that stuff. And I know you look like to me like you're being a police officer. You're not about acts of war. You're not like one of that guy that wants to make that decision, do you? I know it's a hard question.
Well, you know, it is, but basically, we should not get involved in foreign entanglements.
Mm-hmm.
We should not be doing it. I mean, I understand if it's a threat to our country, threat to our people, yes, that is coming against us.
He gets another bell.
Then we should get involved. But, you know, if people can't get along in the other parts of the world, what are we going to do to make them get along?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you got the Ukraine, Russia thing. You know, you got stuff in Venezuela. You still got the East going up. All we're doing is supporting these wars.
Right.
And we should not be supporting wars. Okay, if we can go there and talk to them and try to negotiate and make peace, but let's not sell them the stuff that's going to destroy the other side.
Right.
You know.
You go to Washington, and I ask this question all the time to everybody because I have my answer, and I love asking this question. You're going to have to work with both sides of the parties across the aisle, you know. And this is an interesting question. Who is your favorite Democrat?
That's a real tough one. I can have time to think about that
one. Wow. I mean, I have mine. And it's Fetterman. I mean, Fetterman to me he's a great guy. I mean, how he speaks, how he dresses, and he's so real. And he's more lately being common sense. He wants to be working like you with the other side, and everybody works together, which is what you talked about at the beginning of this interview.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I that's what you have to do. You know, you can't walk into and say, this is the way it is, and that's it. Right. It doesn't work for everybody. I mean, we're a republic, and a republic is built on laws. And so as we have to follow laws, Congress has to come together and work together to make it right.
Right. And who's your favorite Republican? And we're talking about Senate or Congress. I mean, either or. I mean, we'll keep the president out of that because he's a fan favorite of a lot of people and hated by a lot of people. So who's your favorite Republican?
I like Rand Paul.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like him.
Would he be the guy you would be excited to meet there? Because I met some congressmen and some senators, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Congressman Darren LaHood, I met him at a function with Ron DeSantis, and wow, I mean, we talked and we text each other all the time. If I need something, he reaches out to me, and if he needs something, if I need something, I reach out to him. He needs something, he reaches out to me. And it's a great relationship. This is a guy from Peoria. This is the guy who is down there, but he cares about the people. He's a real deal. If he takes the time to talk to little old Dave Tease, I mean, come on. I mean, he's got to be awesome.
There you go. Well, I'll come back and talk to you for sure.
Oh, thank you. I know you will, because I'll be pestered you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do is, I know you have a platform and you have literature. He has literature. He's going to be putting this on your doorsteps. It's Herb Haben running for 8th Congressional district here in Illinois, which is, once again, Cook, DuPage, and Kane counties. A lot of counties. He does have literature. It's going to be showing up on your doorstep with the help of PCs throughout all of townships and counties and stuff like that. There's going to be people coming up here because the primaries are coming. If you get one of Herb's literatures that he is putting on there, which is double-sided, so you got to read both sides. It tells you about him, his policies, his platform, and take the time to read it. This is how you educate yourself. Go to his website. He's got a lot of cool things on it here. So for the last, let's talk about this, the last 5 minutes, I want to turn the microphone over to this guy here and not put him on the spot, but I know he's got a lot of notes. He's got a platform. Herb, why don't you tell everybody about your platform and the direction you want to go for the American voters when you get into Washington?
Well, as I said earlier, I want to support police and law enforcement, bring God back into the picture, allow parents to make decisions for their children, not the government, for their schools and what they're going to be taught. Put American workers first by creating jobs and lowering taxes and rebuilding the economy that works for hardworking families. Expose corruption and fix a broke system that no longer works for the people. That's what I want to do when I get there. I want to be out there for the people. I think we should have all congressmen and senators, since our deficit is blowing up, I think they should have to go and take some classes in finance to learn that you can't just keep spending money and it's going to destroy everything. So, we must educate them, and we also, let's educate the people to let them know what's going on and let them be able to make the decisions of who they want in office or who they don't want in office.
And you talked about safety as one of your top priorities as to being an ex-police officer. Were you in the military?
No.
Nope. Okay. Neither was I. So, I just went out and became a plumber right away, which is great. Military enrollment is up in America, and pay is up a little bit for these guys. Right. I mean, are you all about keeping our armed forces well equipped with everything we need and making sure there's, money in there for them and all that stuff? 'Cause I heard like Coast Guard got $25 billion because they are lacking on personnel and they're dealing with old equipment. I mean, that is military infrastructure.
Exactly.
And how are you about infrastructure throughout the United States? Because that's something we got: our bridges, our roads, transportation. Like you said, you wanted to be safe, but a lot of that stuff is a factor because a lot of money has been mismanaged throughout the United States. That where this money was supposed to go to doesn't.
Right.
And are you going to be the guy that makes it be an accountability team there?
Yeah, we have to stop the fraud, and we have to show people that this is where it's going. This is what we're spending it on. Mm-hmm. Okay, we can't just, we're going to give them $1 billion. Well, I want to see where it's going.
Right.
I want to see what you're spending it on. And then if I approve then you can have it. But if not, you're not going to get it.
That's a good idea. I mean, I want to see where it's going.
Right.
And then after it gets given to that agency, are we going to follow up on it to make sure that it's actually being used wisely and it ain't going to be used inappropriate?
Absolutely. They'll be, we'll check on everything that we give them quarterly or something. Let me see your progress. Let me see what you're doing with it. And if it's not there, and if it's a fraud, well, not only you're not going to get it anymore, but there's also time for jail.
Mm-hmm. And something you don't see is I'm on the Elgin Township Committee for Seniors, non-paying job, but I love doing it. And we got to allocate up to $450,000 for all these senior programs around here, Meals on Wheels, all the senior programs, the Elgin Senior Council. But we have one, which I got to interview. I got to reach out to them before my next meeting because they asked for money. Well, 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, is, hey, we got to interview them. We got to talk to them. They got to give us their reports as to how they're spending, what their budget is at there, if it's a church or the Elgin Area Men's Shed. It's a great organization of retired carpenters, and they do woodworking. and it build birdhouses. Well, they asked for $5,000, okay, which was a small amount. So they were approved for it, and then halfway through the year, they gave the township $2,500 back. They needed the $5,000 they asked for to get new saw blades, new equipment, to get wood and all that stuff. And then they came back and said, "Here, we only needed, this much money, but we're going to give you $2,500 back." Who does that? I mean, really, because when you're in Congress or Senate, they're all approving, this is going to go to this is going to go to there. And then all of a sudden they turn around and go, well, guess what? We only needed $1 million out of the $2 we got. So here's $1 million back. Nobody does that. They go spend it wild. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what you're talking about. Accountability.
Right. Exactly.
And honesty.
I mean, if you don't spend it, we're going to take it back. So they're going to spend it on stuff it shouldn't be spent on. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got food that's expensive.
Right.
Okay. And they're talking about MAHA, Make America Healthy Again.
Right.
And nothing against farmers. I love farmers because I wouldn't eat without them. But, they're subsidizing farmers to not grow food.
Right.
Okay. Well, why don't we take that subsidy, tell the farmers that aren't growing food to start growing healthy food, organic food, and help them and bring the price of food down. Plus, it'll give the people a choice. Do you want the chemical food or do you want food that was grown naturally?
Right.
And use that money for something that it can be used for and usefully used for.
Well, we're going to have about close to 2 minutes before our music comes on. Tell everybody who you are one more time and your lovely wife being in here and what you're running for. And then before he does that, and I'll let him just kill this rest of the show. Dave T, WRMN Radio, 1410 a.m. Don't forget about the gear function on Saturday at Patriots at 6 p.m. in South Elgin. I will be there along with Donald Puckett. Herb, why don't you finish out the rest of the show telling anything else you want to say before you go?
Oh, David, first of all, I want to thank the radio station for allowing me to speak tonight.
You're welcome.
It was a great opportunity. It's one way to get my name out there. I am Herb Habine, running for the Congress in the 8th Congressional District. I'll need your help. I need your votes. And I promise I will work for you, not for the Congress. And I promise to make sure that things get done, okay? And I want to thank my wife for coming out here tonight and keeping me comfortable.
Well, she's sitting there quiet, enjoying, smiling away with you here.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure she's going to be working hard with you. You're going to go knock on some doors and pass out some literature and sit in front of polling places during early voting and 100 feet away from the door. Remember that rule. 100 feet away from the door. So you're going to sit around there and pass out literature. Give the fish the worm as they walk on in,
Yep.
So everybody... it's a great interview. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
I wish the best of luck to you. It's a tough election, a tough race.
Yes, it is.
Got a lot of work ahead of you and a lot of late nights. You're going to be tired. I know I was when I ran for county board, and that was a lot of work as a county board, So
most people out here think that taking care of one another is important.